Welcome to demo tutorial number 5. This time I wanted to go over how to set up a GUI skin with your player inventory, as well as how to set it up for your lootable objects. I've gone ahead and, as I mentioned earlier, downloaded the Necromancer GUI. That's available from the asset store and it is free, so thank you to the guys that released that. So make sure you read your README there. So to get started, let's go ahead and click our third person controller, and we have our player inventory script here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that for now, and that's just in case I've done something in a previous tutorial. I want to make sure I have a clean copy. So I'm going to drag another one on top of my third person controller, and then I want to come over here and grab this GUI skin and drag it onto the inventory skin there. Okay, and when I start the game, the skin should take effect immediately. So when I pop it open, you'll notice that the window is smaller than the inventory slots. If you think of this in a rectangle, it's because this title bar image is actually inset with the overlay here. So what we need to do is adjust the window offsets to tell it that the window needs to be wider. So the way that we do that is we come over here to the right side with our settings, and we go to these inventory window offsets. And so what we can do is, while the game's running, we can adjust the offset left until we get the desired position. And so we're going to put it right onto the corner of those two boxes right there. So that looks to be about 45. So it's probably a fair guess that 45 would be close for the right hand side, as well as for the bottom, and as well for the top. So we're going to go ahead and set all four of those to 45. Now, because the settings are lost once you turn off the game here, we'll need to go back over here and set those. So we're going to go ahead and set those to 45 for now. Alright, that should put 45 pixels of padding or offset around each of the inventory window sides. So we'll start our game again, see what we got, and it looks like the left side is lined up very nicely, so is the right. It does look like our bottom here could use a little bit more, so if we come over to our bottom, we can go ahead and just increase that till we see what we want. So that's going to be 60 pixels, maybe 61 to get just a little bit more. So we got 61 for our bottom, so let's go ahead and go back, and for our bottom, let's set that. And let's go take another look and see what we got. So the top needs to come down a little bit more. So if we come over here to our top, we can go ahead and scroll that down to where it needs to be, which is right about there. And so it looks like it's 96. So let's go ahead and set that to 96 for the top. And take our last look, hopefully. So there we go. And that looks pretty nice. Now if you notice here, we've got our bread, and that had a stack of 20 there. And our stack icon image there is not showing too well. That's because the label has images on it, and the width of the number 20 is not wide enough for those images. So what we want to do is come over here to our stack icon width, and we're going to increase that until it's about the right size that we need for our text. Maybe just a little bit more in case we got 3-digit numbers or something. Alright, so it looks like 64 is going to be our number for our icon width, so let's go ahead and set that. Now you'll notice the position I have default down here in the bottom right hand corner. However, you can change that as well using the offsets for the horizontal and vertical of the stack icon. You can simply increase those to adjust the position, probably a little more vertical. You could put it right in the middle, or perhaps across the top. So, but basically you get the idea. You can fine tune that to achieve any look or feel that you would like. So let's move on, and if we go ahead and come over here and we lock our little window, or our item I should say, you'll notice that we have a lock icon here. Now when we set up these items in the previous tutorial, we didn't tell it to show the unlock icon. So when this was unlocked, if we had checked that box, you would see the unlocked icon. Now both the lock and the unlock icons work pretty much the same as the stack icon. So if you wanted to come over here and change the width, like maybe that's a little too wide, so we could narrow down our little icon. And then same as before, you could stop it and set those to 21. You can as well set the vertical and horizontal offset of that as well. I hope so. That one, and there we go. So if we wanted, we could even move this right into the center to lock it, and then maybe just increase the size so that people would know this whole inventory is locked. As you can see, your imagination is the limit. You can pretty much set these up any way that you would like. Now, another option that you have is to go in and click and you get this command window. Now this is our item command window, so for each different individual item we get different commands. But as you can see, it's rode up a little bit high in the window there, so we want to actually push that down a little bit. So once again, we're going to scroll over here on the right. We're going to go down and find our inventory item command window, offsets, which are right there, and we can go ahead and increase that and just kind of get a feel where it's going to be, and it looks like about 45, 46. So we'll go ahead and stop that, and we can set that to be 46. Let's take another look, and that looks very nice. So right in the center. Now, as well as these windows, when you go ahead and click on one of the item commands, you're going to get a confirmation prompt. So we want to double check to make sure that that is correct as well. Once again, it looks like it's ridden a little bit high in the window there. So we can see our item command confirmation, and that'll work pretty much just the same as the other one. So we can adjust that to be what we need it to be, which appears to be about 42, 43. So if we stop that and set it to 43, then we should have a pretty good looking window there. So unlock, there's our confirmation for an unlock. It looks very nice. So we'll go ahead and cancel that, and we have our split, destroys, and consumes. So we'll split our stack, and it looking pretty good there. So we'll go ahead and split off 10 of the 20 for our moldy potato bread. There's our 10 and our 10. So that's pretty much how you're going to set up a style. Working with the GUI skins on the lootable objects pretty much works the same way. We'll go ahead and do one over here. So if we go over and we click on our shield, and we have our Goblin Starter Shield, and you'll notice at the top we have the Object Information Skin. So once again, we can just drag the Necromancer GUI skin over and drop it on top of this. Now when we go to mouse over the item inside the game world, it will have that goblin skin applied to it as well. Okay. Once again, you have your offset windows, information window settings there. Now these are a little harder to work, but we do know that it was 42 from before, so we should go ahead and just give that a try. And so we'll set the top to be 42. And maybe a little bit more, so let's try 46. And that looks just about right. So just about any GUI skin can be adjusted to fit this without having to go into the code. Of course, if you go into the code, then you'll be able to make any changes that you like. And speaking of going into the code and making changes, in number 6 of the tutorial series, I will be covering exactly that. So make sure you check it out. Have a good night.